Hey, 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 how's it going? It is July 16th. It's Wednesday, 6:31 p.m. I was going to take the day off from doing my live. I'll tell you why, and then I'll tell you why I decided to come on. It's pretty freaking cray-cray. All right, are you ready? Are you here? I'll give you a minute. I'll give people a minute to come in because I set up my live 15 minutes ago to start at 6:30, and typically I push the time back again and again and again. But Sherry's here. Woohoo! I didn't push the time back at all, and I was only a second late. Oh, look. I tried to highlight. So Sherry, something is going on with my stuff. So it says that you're a top fan. I'm just trying to highlight your comment. Thanks for being here. So I don't know if you were here a couple of days ago. You know, it's Wednesday. I've done a live Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I think my brain is just fried because I spent like hours yesterday morning editing and it got all freaking wonky. Or was that the day before? I don't even know. So I figured out what happened. I made a 60-second, or actually 55-second short, and I got an email today from YouTube after I noticed that it was not available, that they took it down. My little freaking 55-second short. And I'll tell you, I take that as a win. I take that as a huge win. It maybe not. Maybe it means this, that, or the other. I don't know. But why in the world would they take down my little short? I have not had a short taken down before. In fact, I don't think I've ever had a single video taken down before. I made one once that was all copyright. It was a little thing with Renee Zellweger from one of her movies, and it was just like a clip of it. And it wouldn't let me publish it at all. And I understood. I was like, oh, okay, I get that, copyright issues, right? And then with this one, it was up for a few days. It actually had 100 views, which, I was hoping it would go viral. I guess that's quasi viral for how low key my stuff has been lately. But yeah, it is just insanity. It's absolute insanity. I'm looking through my notes here because I'm just feeling a little overwhelmed and schizoid because my thoughts are all over the place, which is why I was going to take the day off. And Anna Bees is here. Several folks are having issues with weird stuff. Well, I think it's because Trumpster Fire is having issues with weird stuff. Boob tube. Let me just get the dog at the door. I'm sorry, you guys. One sec. Come here, babies. Oh, no. I got two. I've got the normal dog and I got the crazy dog. So we'll see how this goes. I don't want to be interrupted. I'm so excited to be on. I was excited to force myself to take the day off. And then when I noticed the problem with the video, I was like, oh, I got to talk to my people about this right now. So I pulled it all together, the set, the lights. You guys are awesome. Thank you for being here. I'm going to stay up with your comments too, because that was what I titled this. What say you? Because I really care what you think. Like, I feel like a lot of content creators say that just to try to engage you. I really care what you think. And I love that you're here. And this is why I love reading your comments out loud. So I'm going to try to stay right up to speed. So here we go. I'm going to try to power through. Several folks are having an issue with weird stuff. Hi, Jazz and everyone. I've had videos taken down. Some are blocked on some regions. Fight at fair use. BoobTube, I know you have been having a ton of this issue. And is yours because of the Kylie Rodney case? Because this was specifically with a Trumpster Fire thing. This was specifically with his interview, a 12-minute interview that he did with Will Kane on Friday in Kerrville, Texas, totally scripted. And then my last video was yesterday where I simply played it, but because of fair use, I broke it up a dozen times. I kept interrupting it for exactly that purpose. But I almost didn't put that video up because I just thought it was kind of a stupid video. and then I went ahead and made it public. And I think it was Anna Bees who put a comment in there that she really liked it. And I was like, oh, that's so sweet. Because I was like, seriously, like, this is one of the worst videos I've ever made. But that's just part of being a content creator. It's like, you don't know what's good and what's not good. Sometimes you're like a fish in the water. You can't tell that you're wet until you come out of the water. And so I just thought, you know what? Who cares if it's bad? Like, my ego can take putting up a bad video. I don't have to have all my videos be great or even good. It's okay to, show warts and all. So hello. You guys are all so cool. Nothing much. I didn't get a notification. So I only put up my video that I was going to start it. I put that up at 6:15 and scheduled it for 6:30 since, like I said, I wasn't even planning on doing one. BoobTube says, I fought the Guardian and won. Oh, that's awesome. You go. And let's see. Absolutely. It has flagged my channel for sure. Some people can even see my community post. Or you probably meant can't, right? Or you said some people can even see my community post. I can't even comment on Ninja's shorts. YouTube will no longer let me. See, I was getting cross shadow banned with Crime Circus. This is like 2 years ago. And I also got like shadow banned with Shan on hers. And, Shan and I still love my girl. I hope she still loves me. She has been a huge Trump supporter, and I'm quite the opposite. And we've tried to not let that get between us, but we've also that's kind of like all I've been talking about since the election. So it's okay if we need to have space in our relationship, that's fine. But my point, getting back on track, was that there was a time when she and I were like shadow banned in each other's chats and stuff. So I've noticed that they do that with specific people, that it's almost like they don't want you to cross pollinate with that one person because they see that synergistically you are like working on something together towards something. So again, I take that as a huge compliment to you and to Ninja, that the two of you together are on to crap. And I was stunned that they thought that I was on to anything with Crime Circus. I mean, his channel is huge, but I kind of know him just from interacting through emails, and he's very nice. And, the one about little T. Yes, Annabees, the 60-second one, the one where he says, I was saved by somebody really special, someone like me. That one. So someone like me, someone blah, blah. No, he definitely said someone like me. I just was in such disbelief. So yes, the one about little T. Yeah. Do you think he's going to last another 24 hours? I mean, he's kind of like made a Teflon with a horseshoe in his rear end. He's, he is the zombie president, right? I mean, come on. The angry orange man baby zombie president. I don't think he's going to survive this because he and Putin are going for each other's jugular now. His MAGA base and him, they're going for each other's jugular. He basically told them all to screw off and that they're stupid and he doesn't need them anyway. Like, OMG. He's... Every day you think he can't lose his mind any further than he already has, and he just keeps hitting an all new bottom. You don't hit bottom until you quit digging. He just keeps digging. Thank you, Anna. Always fight for what's right. Exactly. And see, and that's what like gives me momentum, because I was just feeling like, God, this is all so overwhelming. There's so many fires to put out, and the zone is flooded. And no pun intended with the crap in Texas. I mean, that is horrifying. Horrifying. It's just awful. So, talking about the little E stuff, talking about these kids' lives, it's unreal. There's just so much going on, and then there's war going on, and then you got Donnie calling Zelensky and asking him to blow the crap out of Moscow and some other major city in Russia. And Zelensky's like, "Sure, I will. Just give me the bombs, and I'm good to go." What took you so long to ask? But yeah, congratulations, BoobTube, for winning. Yeah, we can't load all in chat. Yeah, woohoo! Shan is, where did that go? Shan is great. Love her. Totally love Shan. I know. She's amazing. And, a lot of us bonded over the Kylie Rodney case and could care less about politics or anything else. And yeah, I think a lot of us have tried to leave politics out of our personal lives and out of our YouTube lives, especially with the administration from 2016 to 2020. I mean, that was like a sucker punch to me. I just was like, this is a joke. This guy can't be our president. That was the first time around. The second time around is totally different because I just think it was way more obvious, the corruption with the manipulation of specifically not so much the voting machines, but the vote counting machines. Just like he said, he always tells on himself. But this stuff is getting more and more mainstream by the day. The whole thing with that Rockland County court case in New York, and then the smart elections and the Election Truth Alliance and some other ones that are new to me that I'm just learning about. Like it's getting bigger and bigger. I click on her shorts comments and I can't even read them, but get this, I can comment on her posts and videos. Crazy. That is wild. Tell me without telling me you don't want me to talk to others. See, BoobTube, exactly. And when I was trying to edit my video yesterday, like I can edit a video, but it was totally the YouTube messing with me. And I didn't think that at all until about an hour ago. I thought that I was doing it right, but yeah, I guess I screwed it up. And then I tried to go back to it later and fix it, and I noticed that everything about that part of the video was gone. So I'll have to check my other videos too, because I've been talking about that since like Sunday night, I think, because it happened on Friday night after I'd already made my video on Friday. And I almost went back on late Friday to make a video about it, but I was like, no, I'll wait till tomorrow. I was planning on taking Saturday off, so I actually did take Saturday off, and then I did a late Sunday. And man, my brain has just been like spinning. I mean, I've been telling you guys that in my videos. Like it's really getting harder and harder to focus because of there's like too much freaking content for me to keep up with. There's too much stuff I want to talk about. There's too much stuff I want to watch. So today I was like, I'm just going to kick back and absorb all the content that I can, because it's just getting richer and richer, and it's harder and harder to absorb it because it's like mainlining or something. It's like snorting pure stuff. I mean, I'm using terrible metaphors, right? But I mean, it's just too much. It's too much all at once. And yeah, I'm going to overdose and die. It is kind of scary too, because you think if they're like looking at your channel, are they going to come after you? We have surveillance all over our house. We are, my husband's law enforcement, and law enforcement has to be particularly careful because they do get targeted. So just like remember those firefighters that were targeted in Idaho a couple weeks ago? Like, does that not seem like it was 40 years ago, because there's so much that's happened since then? And see, I don't think it's any coincidence that all these cases are getting resolved, like the Idaho 4 case, the Diddy case. I mean, all of this news is flooding the zone. And then we have all these bizarre floods. And I'm not going to jump to the conclusion that it's all cloud seeding and it's masterminded by the evil weather controllers. I'm thinking like a claymation cartoon. But you got to keep an open mind. Like, why are all these cities flooding? New York, Jersey, Chicago, Boston, San Antonio. What? Okay, staying caught up. Let's see. I miss the squirrel. I know. She hasn't been doing a lot of videos. I was in one of her live chats a couple of months ago, and I was really happy to see her. And yeah, she used to drop into mine, but then I was usually talking about this Trumpster fire crap, and it probably wasn't very comfortable. So I don't know. Oh, where are we? I'm gotta stay caught up. You guys are so awesome. He did say that. I know he did. He said I was saved by someone very special like me. And maybe they took that video down from Fox News also. I'm going to check. I doubt it. But my video yesterday, that half-hour video, was just me playing that 12-minute interview that I think was completely scripted. It hadn't really occurred to me until I listened to it again and again. Because I don't think like that. I'm honestly not a conspiracy theorist. I'm sure there's people that think I am. But this crap is just too ridiculous. Give me an effing break. And man, I've seen so many good videos today. I'm so glad that I kicked back and just absorbed videos before making mine, because you miss so much. It's really challenging to keep up. Down the Rabbit Hole did one of the most amazing kick arse lives to date. I'll put a link to it in the description. Pascal show, and I haven't watched him in a while. I love him. He was hitting it hard. Everybody was hitting it hard today. I mean, seriously, but he did a live also on the same thing. Hey, puppy dog, quit eating my stuff. Come here. She like eats everything. She's trying to chew wood. She'll get splinters in her face. Come here, baby. Come here, Chi. Come on. While I'm trying to keep up with all your comments, I will cuddle the baby girl and try to keep her from eating stuff that could hurt her. I miss Sing Shan too. Was hoping that she would make some stuff, being Kylie 30th anniversary coming up. I know, I'm sure she will, I would think. But she's also heavy duty into the gardening now. Like she's creating like a whole farm of food, I think, for everybody in her area. I'm serious. So like that is sort of like having a YouTube channel. It's like it takes every second of your day and then some. My grandparents were farmers. I never understood until I started gardening. Hey, Chi, stop. I should get that piece of wood that she's chewing. Oh, I'm so excited about my new studio too, you guys. I can't wait to just like spin around my laptop and show you everything. I could, but I'd probably knock stuff down. So let me just stay focused here. And maybe I will if you guys want me to. But we can save that for another one. There's so much right now, and I'm trying so hard to keep up. The comments are fantastic. Thank you. My best friends are MAGA. Yeah, it's hard to I don't even know which one I just pinned because it kind of slipped. But where was I? My best friends are MAGA. We just don't talk politics. BoobTube says, I'm not political, but you remember when he called his daughter hot. I know. Like, and he also let Howard Stern say some really skanky things about her. Like he was like, well, I'd want to do her or something like that. And Trumpster Fire took it as a compliment. Like, a lot of dads would have punched him in the face, which I would think would be more appropriate. You don't talk like that to a father. That's just gross. Complimented her cans and said he'd date her if he could. WTF. Would never say that about my kids. Never. Exactly. And I've got some very good looking children. I would never date any of them, no matter what. No, I'm kidding. Of course I wouldn't, but I also wouldn't ever. I wouldn't even think about it. doesn't cross my mind. I mean, I'm proud of them. I'm proud of how hot they are, to use Trumpster Fire's word. Everything is hot. That country's as hot as it's ever been. We're the hottest country. I mean, yeah, I think my kids are beautiful, but I'm glad that they're good people, and I'm not going to talk about their physical attributes so much like I just did, only in jest. It's like, it's much more important that they're kind people, that they have talents and skills and interests, and that they want to do things to help the world. No bigger compliment. I feel like there's no bigger compliment than when people tell me stories about something they saw my kid do, or an interaction that they had with my kid, and what a great person they think my kid is. I mean, I get teared up just relaying that information to you guys. And my comment is always the same. It's like, man, they're terrible to me. They treat me like dirt. I'm glad they treat other people well. But that's just when they're going through those teenager years. Like, as they come out of the teenager years, they're sweet again. And up until the teenage years, they're sweet. And the teenage years, just brutal. And I remember I was there. Complimented her cans. Yeah, I gotta highlight that one. That is just crazy. And we've been getting a lot of storms today, so hopefully I won't lose my connection. Because if we do, you won't know if it's because I'm being, messed with, or if it's because of the storms. I think the storms are over, so it would be because I'm being messed with. Nauseating. Yeah, his remarks of daughter were disgusting. And photographs. I want to say that before I keep reading. If you've seen photographs of him all handsy with young Ivanka, it is so gross. It's like he's touching her in ways that a father should not touch a daughter, that really no man should touch a female unless he's dating her, unless they're married, unless there's consent. Like, it's gross. It's gross. Yeah. Jade Hunter, hello. How are you? OMG, Jade, hello, ma'am. Jade Hunter, Jazz, I've missed you so much. Oh, Anna, you're saying me or them? So exciting seeing you all here. I mean, I miss you guys every day. I get really motivated to come on just because it's fun to hang out. Jazz husband, that's cute. Where did I leave off? I think right here. I was thinking about you the other day, Jade, hoping you're doing well. Same, Anna. Hi, Jade. I am. Thank you. I'll send done pictures of my job at Copper Mine. Check your old email, boob. Hi, Vieja. I wonder what Copper Mine is. If you want to send it to me too, Jade Hunter. Don't, no pressure, but my email, and if somebody wants to type it in to the chat, it's what is it? It's JusticeAtooZ at gmail.com. So yeah, sometimes I want to joke like, oh my God, it's the early Alzheimer's, but no, I'm just like overwhelmed. It's like too much information. And I think I need another cup of coffee, but it's kind of late in the day. But I always do better when I'm live if I have my coffee, and I meant to grab one. But I've got my water, which is even better, right? I want to see what the Copper Mine is, the job at the Copper Mine. I can't bring myself to do any content. Oh no, Boob Tube, I'm so sorry. I mean, I hope that you're okay with that, but tell me about it. Because yeah, I skipped, like, I want to say more than 2 weeks, maybe as many as 3 weeks, right up until the day before the election, because I was so devastated about the possibility of the Trumpster Fire winning. And I didn't want to talk about politics on my channel. And so I just didn't make content because I want to be transparent and honest with you guys about where I'm at. And so finally, the day before the election, I was like, you know what? it just is what it is. And so I just went ahead and made my video, and it's been a Trumpster fire poop fest ever since, right? Will do, Miss Jade. I'm so sorry to hear that, boob tube. Like I said, as long as you're okay with it. See, for me, doing these videos, it really is my therapy. Like, I feel so much better when I do my video each day. Unless I have to scratch my nose in front of you guys. Excuse me. Stupid fans kicking up dust and stuff. Thank him for his service to his community. Oh, my Mr. Jazz, I see. So yeah, he's this is how much he likes to help people. He's a volunteer firefighter, and he's on the rescue squad. He's an EMT, and that's the same thing. It's like the township rescue squad, basically. I call it a rescue squad. What do they call themselves? Fire and rescue. That's what they call themselves. But I just call them the rescue squad because that's pretty much what they are. There's not too many fires. Fires are kind of rare. It's more like a rescue squad. You know, car accidents, people that need to go to the ER, they're having a medical crisis. Fires are pretty rare, actually. So that's not just here, that's everywhere. Fires are extremely rare. That's why most fire departments have the 24-hour shifts, and people can eat and sleep and all that stuff when they're on duty, because chances are you're not going to get a fire, and you can't just like sit around being ready for a fire all the time. That doesn't make sense when there's only like one a week or something, depending on where you're at. Anyway, so yeah, he's full-time law enforcement, and you know, he loves doing what he does. He loves keeping the community safe. But you know, it's a poop fest. The administration try to bite my lip. You know, I try to leave that stuff out of my channel, like steer clear. um I wish I could talk about it. It would be fun. We'd have a blast with it. I mean, because you just got to make fun of it, right? And yeah, he just busted a somebody burglarizing just this week all by himself, because he's usually on duty all by himself. And you know, a lot of police officers work in pairs, and when you're dealing with, you know, he once busted 3 bank robbers that had artillery. He busted all 3 of them all by himself. That was a long time ago. That was like 10 years ago. But man, he was a bag of nerves. I'd never seen him like that. It took him like 24 hours to quit vibrating. And I was like, man, what's wrong with you, dear? And he was just like, you don't understand. Like, because he held him at gunpoint until backup got there. It was like 20 minutes. And he was just like, if one of them sneezed, I would have had to kill them. I was like, yeah, you're right. I don't understand. I hadn't really thought about that. So yeah, he had 3 of them in a car with artillery. They'd already robbed the bank. They tied all these people up, and he is good at his job. I'll just leave it at that. And he loves it, you know. I mean, it's a really awkward interaction to have with somebody, to have to like arrest them for robbery. I mean, you know, you have to kind of be a jerk, and he's not a jerk. So I don't know how he does it. I guess I've seen him be a jerk. You know, we've been together for almost 35 freaking years. Too long. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, I'm getting rambly. I want to stay caught up with you guys. Where was I? So yeah, thanks for thanking him. Jade, thank you. Who? Funny how they can predict wildfires like hurricanes. I'm really wondering about all these freaking floods. You know, the cloud seeding is real, and the Rainmaker CEO did a 10-minute interview with CNN saying how his company did cloud seeding right by Kerrville 2 days before those floods, and that it was just a little south. And he was explaining it to prove that that they didn't cause the flood. But it's just like, how can there be all these crazy effing floods all of a sudden in the cities? Sorry for rubbing my nose. Jazz husband. I know I like to call him Mr. Jazz. Thank you, Jazz's husband. You guys are cute. Oh, and if you're interested, you can see him like running across a video, like, I don't know, a couple weeks ago when I'm doing yoga, and I even put it in the title. So if you're interested, you can see a Mr. Jazz sighting in uniform. It's dark, but it's there. And like I said, it's in the title, so you'll know which one it is. You won't have to watch more than one if you're not into that kind of thing. I know the yoga is probably insanely boring to most people. I like it, but I sometimes it's my goal to be bored, basically. I'm gonna buy the tinfoil hard hat for work. That is a great idea. I know. I'm just glad that so many people are waking up. Like, I don't hold it against anybody that is a supporter of anybody. It's like we are all just who we are. I'm glad that a lot of people are realizing that they've been lied to, that they've been had, that they've been manipulated, because it's so much, and it's so much like a cult. It's so much like an abuser. Is so much like an abuser. Even the isolating, the trying to play the MAGAs against the rest of the world, and now he's trying to play the MAGAs against himself. He's like, anybody wants to stand with me, I'm going to be on my island all alone. Unless you jump ship from MAGA, you can come stand with me. But if you don't, I don't need you anyway. Like, screw y'all. I mean, and I think that's why people like him, is because he can be such a jerk like that. And I understand that appeal. It's like, yeah, it's good when people can just like be themselves and not worry how hateful they are. Except for when they're full of hate, then it's like, yeah, that's not cool. In my opinion. Garden must be keeping her buddy busy. Yeah, I know. I have not been doing that much gardening the last few years since I started my YouTube. But it's cool because I did so much gardening before that. My mom did so much gardening that it doesn't take a lot just to like weed and weed whack and, um, you know, just try to groom it and do maintenance, basically, just maintenance. Yeah, I can't deny that. Out of line, you all know who I voted for. I think that from that comment I might know, and I mean, honestly, I can't retain all the information from all the videos that I watch. So I think you're saying that you're a supporter, and that's fine if you still are, if you're a supporter of the current person in office. I can't really tell from your comment, but yeah, like, I don't want to offend you, and I'm not offended. So yeah, can't deny that. Out of line, y'all know who I voted for. I mean, it's really sad for the victims of little E, and it's really happy for Ghislaine. I mean, she has quite a case now to just say, well, spring me out of jail because there is no list. So why am I even here? Anyone would say that crap about my kid, I would have leveled them. Done. Yeah. When my oldest daughter first got to be like, she's close to 6 feet tall and she's just perfect. And she was probably like 14. She was really young. It was right when she hit like 5'11", or she might be slightly under 5'11". Anyway, I was at the grocery store with her, and this 40-year-old man, I don't know if he was 48 or what. He looked to be about 40. He eyeballed her up and down. He wasn't looking at me. He was looking at her, and I just about clocked him. And I had to like hold myself back, and I was thinking, okay, I better like figure out how to deal with this because it's going to happen more and more. And yeah, good thing her dad wasn't there. He probably would have cuffed him. Some police brutality. No, I'm just kidding. He would never abuse his power. That would be a deal breaker for me for sure. Um, I wish I could do things outside. My body won't let me do things like kneeling. Yeah. His cabinet is good looking. I know, aren't they? He takes all the hot ones. That's right. I'm sorry, Anna. Pray you feel better. Yeah, the knee healing up. Oh, and Fred's here. Where did I leave off? Um, where did I leave off? Um, sorry, I've got some dead skin on my lip. Where did I leave off? I'm trying so hard to keep up. I'm way behind. Okay. Way behind. I better quit commenting. His cabinet's good looking. Sorry, feel better. Thank you, BT. Working on it. I do Jazz's yoga as best I can. Oh, that's awesome, Anna Bees. It is a really good workout. I love it. And if you don't feel like pushing yourself, you can do it lightweight and still get really good results. Vieja says, my favorite pastime gardening. I can't do anymore either. Oh, yeah. I know when I started doing the YouTube, I would like just listen to YouTube while I gardened, and I could do both just like 24/7 without stopping to eat or sleep or anything. That's how I got addicted. I was addicted to gardening, and then I was like switched my addiction over to YouTube, right? So sorry, Christine. Totally understand. How we garden still, but it's definitely getting harder. We just love fresh veggies. Ooh, yeah. My daughter is trying to grow some cucumbers and tomatoes. I'm good, thank you. I will. I don't see Christine, but hello. See, that's weird. Why wouldn't you see Christine? Please do. Christine is Vieja. Oh, right. Yeah, that's why you wouldn't see Christine. Somebody type it so I can screenshot it. Oh yeah, the email. Thanks, you guys. I will. I'm so far behind. I apologize. I'm gonna really try to get caught up. My dad worked in a copper mine all his life. Wow. Email you on it, Jazz. It's a lot right now. Oh, BoobTube. Yeah, I'll look for your email. Not the one you work at, Jade. Trumpster Fire. LOL. I know. I think I made that up. I need to like copyright it because I think it nails it. I like to say Trumpster Fire Poop Fest, but I like to say with the SS. It's far enough into my video, right? Trumpster Fire Shit Show. Like that's my favorite. I'm gonna get banned now, right? Somebody want to type her email address so I can screenshot. I didn't know. Makes sense. I feel so much better when I reconnect with you guys every now and again. I have to, and I'm crying right now. Oh, Jade, that's so sweet, Jade Hunter. I know it's awesome having our group, our people. It really is. It's really something precious. As silly as that sounds, this format. Who knew? Who knew? And I just hope they don't ruin it with all their freaking BS. That's my concern. Jazz always calls him Trumpster Fire. LOL. I can't call him anything else. I can sometimes call him Donnie or Donnie Two Dolls or Little T. I have a lot of trouble calling him anything other than those things. El Presidente. I actually love to say El Presidente because that's fun. And it's just mocking him. I mean, ugh. I feel like he's mocking everybody, every single one of us. Seriously, that's badass. I'm going to send emails now. I'll be right back. Jade. Hi, everyone. I was watching the news. Bed soon. 2:40. Work alarm comes too soon. That's crazy. There it is. JusticeAtooZ at gmail.com. And yeah, the capitals and lowercase don't matter, but um, that's your email. Fred, good to see you. Trumpster Fire. I have some other names for him that are not respectable. I mean, he's just as bad as Little E. He's just as bad as Little E. And I was suspending my opinion about that, but I have dug up some material and, it's hard to find but there are lawsuits that were filed against him for um, violating people's children, and he paid off those families millions of dollars, and that's why he doesn't want to reveal his tax returns. That might be one of the reasons why he doesn't reveal his tax returns. I want to be really careful about what I say, not so much for getting sued or anything, just because I don't want to misconstrue things. If it sounds like I think I know something, I'll tell you, I think I know this. If I say it with a lot of conviction, I'm pretty sure. So I always want to like explain how much I think I know something, because you never know. The truth is, you never know. Like, we're never going to see the freaking Epstein files or the list. And yeah, of course it exists. That's the whole point of what they did. The whole point of the whole trafficking thing. It wasn't just for jollies and perverted creep factors. It was to videotape and blackmail. That was the whole freaking purpose, was to keep track. That's always the purpose. That's how politicians roll, is they have dirt on each other. That's how they own you. That's how they get things done. That's okay, but I'm staying caught up, right? Glad to see you for a minute. Annabee says to Fred, try the old one, Jade. Fred Field, okay, got to dig for it. What broadcast do you watch, Fred? Yeah, that's a good question. What broadcast do you watch, Fred? There's another one in my channel description, Jade. Okay. Via mostly, what was the answer? It skipped. Where did it skip to? That's the problem with being behind, is then it skips. VA mostly ABC local and world news. I'll go replace pinned message. But that pinned a different message. He who controls the weather controls the world. Lyndon B. Johnson. Well, and so the weather stuff with the cloud seeding, you probably know, it's been going on since the 40s. I thought it had been going on since the 60s, but it's actually been the 40s. I think the 60s, maybe the 40s is when it was like kind of discovered, and then the 60s was when it started actually being used more routinely in certain situations. And then the problem is that they denied it for so long. They tried to tell people, no, you're insane to think that. So now that they're admitting it, it makes you wonder, well, what else are they lying about? And yeah, if you're the most powerful person in the world and you're about to be outed for crimes that people will never forgive you for, that you could go to jail for, that you could be penniless for, because you have to pay punitive damages to all of your victims, then if you have any access to control the weather, then why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you be setting fires and causing floods? I mean, it's a question. It's not an accusation. And when you think you're God anyway, or Jesus or whatever, you feeling better, Fred? Yeah, Fred, are you getting your other leg done, or did you already? My eyes have been really opened since I got social media. Fred says, slept only 4 to 5 hours last night, so napped watching YouTube. DUI arrest, that's hilarious. Yeah, sleep is so important. So important. I like Josh Johnson's newest video. I keep wanting to watch it. There's a lot of comedy that I keep wanting to watch, but I keep getting caught up in all of the stuff that makes my head spin. So yeah, I need a good dose of comedy. Just sent Jazz email. Thank you. Yeah, I work tonight. I've always hated Howard Stern. Hope you get some better rest, Fred. Oh no, Jazz just went black. What? Christine, is she still on? Can you see her? I see her. Message retracted. No, she's silent and blacked out. Oh no, Vieja. So it's probably you, I guess. But I'm glad that you're letting us know. I mean, maybe you're just banned from watching me, or I'm banned from talking to you. Or maybe there's other issues. We are Kylie's extended family. Yes, I still see the live stream. You bet, Jade. Dan told us she's our daughter too. I'm confused. Dan told us she's our daughter too. Um, I'm not sure what you're referring to. If I'm supposed to know, boob tube. Either way is fine. Vieja, try going out and coming back on. Yeah, sometimes refreshing your computer too. Our laptops, especially, don't like it if they're on too long without logging off. They're persnickety like that, aren't they? Yes, I feel that we are family. Yes. And here I have to replace the pinned message in a family. Yes. Um, I don't know where that comment came from. Oh, there it is. The list is JE still very active. Bank account, numerous articles on it. Yeah, I saw that today, boob tube. So for people that might not be aware yet, um, Jeffrey's millions of dollars are in a trust of, I don't think they said specifically who it is that's holding the trust. Maybe um, Alan Dershowitz, his attorney, the dirtbag attorney. Alan Dershowitz, I believe, to the best of my knowledge, had active lawsuits going with Virginia Giuffre when she offed herself. And you got to remember that she passed away 10 days before the Diddy trial started. And there's a lot of overlap with Diddy and Little E, especially when it comes to Little T. He was friends and partied with both of them and Weinstein and others. So the whole thing with the Royals, I mean, I do not believe that Virginia did that to herself. I think she was Epsteined. I don't think that Epstein did that to himself. But even if she did do it to herself, I would still say that all this crap took her life. I mean, if she did do it to herself, it's because of all this crap. But yeah, that attorney whose name I mentioned, who I won't say it again, I think he was Epstein's attorney. He's a real dirtbag, and he was a Harvard professor, I think, for like 20 or 30 years, and he's just awful. He's absolutely toxic. Um, and it wouldn't surprise me if the lawsuits that he had currently with Giuffre, nothing would surprise me. Nothing. The list is JE. Yeah. Okay. I always forget about that because it doesn't happen very often. Got her in no. I'm not sure with the typos, Vieja. Let me highlight that one. I am 6 minutes behind. I'm going to keep trying to power through. Who cares about my notes? I can't decipher them anyway. There's so much in there. I mean, it would be like a 3-hour live if I do try to get into that and keep up with my wonderful people. I found you because of Kylie's case. Well, I found my YouTube voice because of Kylie's case. I never thought that I would actually start a channel. I wanted to when it came to Suzanne Morphew in 2020. And then I wanted to when it came to Gabby Petito in 2021. Like both of those cases really resonated with me. And then Kylie's case finally did it. I mean, it's not that I don't care about other cases. It's just that those individuals, I think, are people I really identified with. So, yeah. And especially, I never thought about this with Gabby Petito and it happening on a road trip since my father made that attempt on mine and my sister's lives on a road trip. But see, in the Morphew case, the husband, I've said this a bunch of times, he is like a doppelganger for my father. So that's why that case really hit me hard. And yeah, I never realized that with Petito's case, that it's the road trip factor, probably one of the many things that really just makes it touch my heart, just go straight to my heartstrings. But again, her case, she touched a lot of people's heartstrings. And just like Kylie did, like these are people that just I think Kylie in particular, because like she's so unique, especially her voice and her talents. She's kind of an odd duck, which just makes her that much more appealing. You know, she's kind of the underdog. And so I think it's easier for people to identify with somebody that when they can see their flaws rather than when they just look so perfect, like Suzanne Morphew or even Gabby looked so perfect. I mean, and not that Kylie didn't look so perfect. It's just that, you know, there was so much unique complexity about her and her story. Um, yes, there are numerous patients out for stratospheric aerosol inject, NexRad, Doppler, reverse engineering, etc. People just refuse to look it up. Numerous patents. Okay, boob tube is on it. I know. I wonder what she's usually way ahead of the game with all this stuff. We got to ask her to help us out. Yes, there are numerous patents out for stratospheric aerosol inject, NexRad, Doppler, reverse engineering, etc. People just refuse to look it up. Well, yeah, I mean, you can just Google it, and Google artificial intelligence will tell you all about it. You know, I mean, that's what I did because I knew that cloud seeding was real. I hadn't known that for very long, and I didn't know much about it. I didn't even know if it was spelled like seeding, like sitting down, or seeding, like planting seeds. And it's spelled like planting seeds. I mean, I didn't know that until the Texas flood happened. And then when Marjorie Taylor Greene came out with accusing, essentially, it felt to me like she was accusing the Democrats of having done it. And at first I thought, she's just a freaking wingnut. What the F is wrong with her? She's so effing crazy. And then after a few days, I thought, why would she be making that accusation unless she's gaslighting and she knows something and she's trying to hide it? Because that's what they always do, is they always try to play the victim and accuse you of what they're doing. So it's just awful. And yeah, if anybody whose job it was to protect that community from the flooding, if they were doing their job to the best of their ability, then they're fine. They're in the clear. But if they were not able to do their job for whatever reason, or, you know, they were fired from their job, or they were forced to retire early for their job and that position hadn't been filled, then that's criminal. That is absolutely criminal. And that goes directly to Doge and to the administration. But I'm going to just keep trying to power through. I'm sure they have destroyed the videos. Right. But I think some people probably copied them before destroying them. Right. Because that's worth billions right there. That would be the smart thing to do. Right. Imagine if there's billionaires in those videos. You own them. You own every penny that they own is yours, because you can't buy silence. You can only rent it. Kylie brought us all together, didn't she? I mean, no, we love Kylie Rodney. My dear, 3 years. Daniel Rodney. Wait, where did that one go? Said Kylie, is everyone's daughter, the community's daughter. Thank you, BoobTube, for reminding me that. Yeah, I knew it rang a bell. I just was not focused. Jazz. The majority of JE's Ching money is offshore accounts, and there's still millions moving in and out. Then there's Chase too. So what I have learned, BoobTube, is that the guy who kind of made him is the guy who owns Bath and Body Works and Victoria's Secret and all that. I don't know if he still owns Victoria's Secret. I do know he still owns Bath and Body Works. Anyway, I call him Les or Leslie. Where's my doggy? Did you guys hear that? She's like, I don't know if that was her tummy growling or her growling. Anyway, Les is a billionaire. He lives in Ohio. He kind of made Jeff. I'm trying to say the names. They were neighbors. They had tunnels between their houses in Manhattan and in Ohio, New Albany. And all of the money that they made was basically like shell companies potentially to launder money for the people from that country that used to be the USSR. It's big business. Like this whole thing with the e-files is blowing up everything. Everything. Oh, and Kirby Summers, who's one of the survivors who has her own YouTube channel, she did an amazing live last night too. I'll try to remember to put a link to that in the description later. When it comes to Trump, I think your names are funny, and I pray his policies affect us all greatly in a positive way. Well, yeah, I mean, if there's good things he can do, then great. Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, I found many wonderful people because of Kylie's case. Never wanted a channel, to be honest, but here we are fighting for justice. I know. I didn't really think I wanted a channel too. It was kind of Plunder who put me up to it, and I thought she was just trying to get me to quit. Trying to influence her with my ideas. I was like, I'm probably so annoying. She's like, just start your own channel. I'm kidding. There's truth to every joke, but I'm kidding. She was the one who like planted that seed. And then Kelly with What's the Obsession like really fanned the flames too. So that's why I always give them props. I owe those girls my YouTube life, my YouTubing life. Those first two notes of Far Away send chills down my spine. I love that song so much. I love that song. That girl, man, I love her voice. But yeah, the lyrics too. Thank you. You are doing a good job, BoobTube. Yeah, you are. And I screenshot that info. You said I'll look it up. I love that Ninja included some of Kylie's song in her lives and videos. I know, Fred. Seriously. They're both ping pong that crap. They both ping pong that crap. Me too. Me too. So I'm trying a new smoothie today, and it's got olive oil, turmeric, ginger, Himalayan salt, half a lemon, peel, cucumber, blueberries, and I'll have some cranberry juice. That actually sounds delicious to me, Jade Hunter. That's my kind of drink. I love it. I want to screenshot that and try it myself. Um, there are so many that have done a great job for truth and transparency. We will never give up. No, we won't. And for every single viewer, every single like, every single view, it all helps fight for truth and justice, in my opinion. Um, and look, I'm almost caught up. Let me know if it helps you. And yes, Mr. Yeah, you left an N out, boob tube, and I see you corrected it. Sometimes it's better to leave the N out, you know. I mean, he's one of those that is made of Teflon and has a horseshoe inside his rear, and nobody can ever touch him. He's like 87 years old, and he shouldn't be untouchable. He absolutely shouldn't be untouchable. But yeah, that's a good idea just to go ahead and retract it. It looks like you retracted it. It could be YouTube retracted it, right? Because yeah, and look at Abercrombie and Fitch, right? And so that's like Michael Jeffries was. He got arrested. He's like 80. He finally got arrested like 20 years after the fact and 10 years after charges this last year. Michael Jeffries. And then Abercrombie and Fitch was also, I think, incorporated into I think it's called like L Company or something. Hey, Chi, stop. Don't eat that, you little rat dog. I might have to kick her out. Mr. Sean Atwood has some very interesting interviews of victims lately. I know. When I discovered his channel, I wasn't so sure about him. But yeah, he seems like a good egg. You know, you just never know if these people are for real or not. I mean, yeah, he's on it. Um, yes, I have heard of him. There are so many connections between these predo billionaires. So yeah, Netflix has some good documentaries about the Victoria's Secret Angels and about the Abercrombie stuff. That's how I learned about a lot of it. Is just from Netflix documentaries. Yours was the first channel I found about Kylie's case. Oh, that's so cool. That girl, but I'm not into Zab girl. She whines too much. Well, we're both in Ohio. I just got to check that little puppy, man. She eats everything, and I worry that she'll hurt herself. And we have all kinds of chew toys for her. I found you through Watts, Jazz. Oh, very cool. Yeah. Yeah. The first time I was ever on YouTube was as a guest on her show. And I was just like dumbstruck when she invited me to be a special guest. I was like, I'm flattered, but no, I have nothing to say and I'm scared. And she talked me into it. So I love her for that for sure. Jade, I didn't like Zav either. Her lives are way too long. You know, I do still watch Zav, and yeah, it's like almost every channel that I watch, I need to take breaks from because I'll like love a channel so much I'll overdo it, and I'll think there's no way I could get sick of this content creator or their content, and I do. I'll like overdo anything that I like. That's just the nature of my personality. So then I take a break, step back, and then maybe come back to it, and it's refreshing. Good night, all. Dexter out and then to bed. Good night, Fred. Thanks for coming in. Um, did you watch Dexter? Is that why you named your dog Dexter? Retracted it. Oh, good. I'm glad it was you and not the YouTube. It was the boob tube, not the YouTube. OMG, it's fire. That smoothie gonna keep me up all night. My haul truck carries 290 tons of copper, or I'm gonna brag. My check was $2,200. Jade Hunter, rock on. For 2 weeks take home pay. We only work 8 out of 14 days. Nice. I'm happy for you. That's fantastic. And VA has says, sleep well. You're great, Jade. Good night, Fred. Nighty night, Fred. Weird stuff. Fourth time Jazz has blacked out on my screen. Wow. I've got over 7 months clean now. Oh, Jade, I'm so happy for you. That's fantastic. Well, and with drinks like that, that's really going to clean you out, huh? Jade is a badass. Whoa, VA, how weird. Okay, let me look at some of these notes if I can even. Yeah. Hope. Let me get the dog out if they're going to be noisy like that. Come here, baby. Come on, let's go. Oh. Oh, so cute and so bad. So she's got one of my lotions. So she bit up my lotion, so it's oozing out now. And I don't care about the lotion oozing out. I just don't want her to get sick from something like that. And then she steals my little puppy dog all the time. And this was my daughter's. My daughter spent like $25 on this thing, which is insane. I didn't know how expensive it was until after she bought it with money she saved up. I would have been like, no, you're not allowed to spend that much on that. But can you see it? Yeah, I have it down here. You can hardly see it just because of the light. But you know how I am. I used to have a hedgehog. I don't know what happened to my hedgehog. I don't even know what happened to my squirrel. Sometimes the dog might have eaten the squirrel. I hate to say that. Um, and yeah, I had like the 4 dancing squirrels that I tried to send to Shan, but I ended up sending it to somebody in Florida because I got my wires crossed. And then she had to send it to Shan. And there's Mookie, who matches the dog I just showed you. Come here, baby. Come on. I just got to keep my door shut so that people don't come wandering in here thinking that I'm like done with my video. There's my Mookie. She looks just like that dog I just showed you. Does she not? She is my little baby. Oh, she's so cute. She's been very frustrated with that puppy living with us because that puppy is very demanding of a lot of attention. Oh, Jade says I'm crying because I'm so happy. Happy about the money, happy about being here. Oh, happy about being clean and sober. I know, it is the best gift, honey. I am so happy for you. I could cry. That is fantastic. Recovery is so hard in the beginning, especially. It does get easier. Um, but yeah, it's so hard to stop an addiction. It's so hard. See, for me, it's like impossible to stop an addiction. I just have to switch to a healthier addiction. I mean, I am just that much of an addict. Like, that's why, I try to get addicted to gardening or swimming or yoga or water or justice. Totally addicted to justice. Actually, I literally feel like I'm addicted to seeking justice, because once something actually gets accomplished with justice, you need to go seek some more justice somewhere else, right? It's sort of like the hunt. It's about the process, not the goal. And yeah, and then the friends that you make in the process. And the boyfriend will have a year next month on the 12th. Rock on. I guess there's something about me getting clean on a Friday the 13th that makes it stick. That's perfect. I love Friday the 13th. I'm checking out for the evening too, guys. Got to catch some chow. Much love. Thanks for coming in and chatting, and thanks for saying bye. Um, she's so cute. I know, little Mookie. She is the best. The money is clean. That's funny. Yeah, you don't have to launder that money, huh? Mine was speed. And as somebody in your profession, as you understand, I'm sure that if you have complex PTSD, speed becomes a tool. Yeah, and I have complex PTSD too, and I was addicted to a lot of things, but mostly my drug of choice was actually marijuana. So if I, it's been like 30 over 35 years. I got clean the year before I met my husband. Um, and he wasn't clean when I met him. That was a hurdle. Like, I mean, I didn't think that we would be together because of that. I was like, do your thing. Don't get clean for me. That's not how that stuff works. But anyway, yeah, it's I worked in mental health and chemical dependency, substance abuse. So I did a lot with like kind of like cross training and cross practicing. And in my opinion, in my experience, it seems that everyone in the profession of substance abuse is still actively addicted to something and lying about it. I'm just going to say that because I feel like that's true in my experience. Um, it's sort of a prerequisite to be a chemical dependency expert or counselor. It's not a prerequisite that you have to be in recovery or that you have to be a former addict, but it kind of is. I mean, those are the people that get in the field. Those are the people that are going to do best. And then, it's definitely a requirement that you have to be clean. You can't like be an active addict, but so many are, and just straight up lie about it. Hold on. Go. Sorry. See, I made my little corner here, like kitty corner from the door. And then with the constant in and out, I really do need a doggy door. But I had the door so that they could just push it open to come back in, so I wouldn't have to open it. But then it would be open anyway. I think I'm staying caught up with you guys. We're just over an hour. I do have some notes to share too. One sec. Um, let's see. But yeah, I mean, I messed around with all substances when I was addicted, because if you can't get your rug of choice, you just you'll do whatever you can get your hands on. In my experience, that's how many addicts are, and that's one of the reasons why it's so dangerous. Wait, I'm back. Is it true Maureen Comey got fired? I don't know who this is, Maureen Comey. Let me look. Where's my phone? Is this somebody from like the administration? Let's see. Did Maureen Comey get fired? Did Maureen Comey get fired? The Manhattan prosecutor who handled the cases is fired 55 minutes ago. New York Times. Oh, wow. Daughter of James Comey fired from her job. Yeah, so here's an article from Politico 13 hours ago. Wow, how did I miss this when I was watching all the other crap? Wow, Manhattan prosecutor who handled Epstein cases fired. Thank you so much for that hot tip. Dang. Um, where was that? Boob tube, right on. Thank you. I'm gonna look into that more later. That's something if it's true. She handled Epstein and Diddy. Dang. See, this stuff is blowing up. I'm going to try to remember to put that link in the description to Kirby Summers' video, her live from last night or from yesterday. I watched it last night, and she goes off the rails and off the deep end in talking about how all this stuff ties into everything so much bigger, like world politics. Seriously. And sometimes it's just too much, and so I think it's like a natural knee-jerk reaction for anybody to say, oh no, she's just crazy, right? Like the truth is just too much. It makes your head spin. But I think that all of this is showing us that right now. Damn. And the fact that she's James Comey's daughter just is like wild. Now 5 times crazy. Oh, Vieja, what is up with that? TTYL 2. I don't know what T. Oh, it's like Toodaloo later. Probably TTYL. Here, I'll ask my phone to tell me what that is too, because I should know, right? I'm sure it stands for something obvious. TTYL. Talk to you later. Yeah, I should know that one, huh? But I'm just not hip and cool enough. Wow, BoobTube, come back and tell us if you can. Addictive nature is hard to break, right? But like stuff like knitting, like art and painting, I mean, you have to be an addict to do any of those things. Personally, I think you have to be an addict to be an academic too, because studying all the time is insane. I even kind of translate it to parenting, like to take care of your kids and do all the chores and just all of it. It's like that's my mindset is like, I get addicted to everything and anything. So I try to be addicted to healthy things. I try to be addicted to taking care of my kids rather than addicted to a substance that could kill us all, right? I mean, that's the worst when parents are actively addicted. The worst is when parents use with their kids. That is the worst, in my opinion. That is like the worst kind of abuse. And just like it has the poorest prognosis, unfortunately. Somebody who's been through that. Where did it go? Good thing is I'm being weaned off ADH meds now. Well, so that channel, if you don't know the channel, you'll want to know the channel, Down the Rabbit Hole. She has this new like opening thing for her videos. She basically says that she's an unmedicated ADHD, and it's hilarious. But she is educated. She's great. And she's a social worker. I know that she has a great professional past that really gives her a wonderful perspective on the material that she covers. Um, I've also been addicted to things. I'm a caffeine addict for sure. Well, see, and I won't give up caffeine because, you know, I'll fall apart. I just can't. I'm not going to try to be perfect. I've tried and it's not had a good outcome when I've given up caffeine. It's a bad idea. I'll just get right to the point. The last time I gave up caffeine, I started smoking cigarettes, and then it was really hard to stop the cigarettes. So I was like, okay, don't do that again. Note to self, don't ever try to give up caffeine. It's always a disaster. Um, it's true, I guess. Politica, woohoo! There's the article. Okay, I really am hungry, but talk to you later. Yeah, I know. Get your food. Get some good, healthy, delicious food. Thank you. We'll check it out. Handled Epstein case in Florida too. So it's interesting because the Epstein case in Florida, that guy Alex Acosta was the one who engineered the deal of the century. Basically, let him get off with a slap on the wrist for raping kids. 14 years old was on record, but I think 12 years old is like off record, and maybe even 10 years old. So Alex Acosta was then hired into the first Trumpster fire administration, and then he was forced to resign when little E was arrested in July of 2019. But you got to ask yourself, why did Trumpster fire want him so bad in his cabinet? Because he almost didn't get confirmed. Like, they did not want him. The other government officials did not want Alex Acosta because of the case in Florida in 2006, 7, and 8. And so I got to ask myself, like, well, why did Trumpster fire want him so bad then? And then, of course, we all know he had to step down. But now it comes out that Bondi was involved in that too. And I've looked it up. She wasn't the attorney general, but maybe she was an attorney general because she had involvement with that case. Let's see what was Pamela Bondi's involvement with the Epstein case in 2007, Alex Acosta. So it says that there's no information directly linking Pamela Bondi. So she was the attorney general in Florida, I think 2011. But just because AI says that does not mean it's true. It just means that that's what AI has been programmed to tell you. Because now if I ask it, AI, were you programmed to tell me a lie about Pamela Bondi? It might tell on itself, right? People have done that. So yeah, you got to know what you're looking for. So she was the attorney general in Florida from, like, I think 2011 until 2016, somewhere in there. And so I don't know what else happened with the e-files back then. And I'm trying to find the information. I've been trying to research it because people keep saying that she had involvement with little E in that first, what they call a sweetheart of a deal, what I like to call the deal of the century, because calling it a sweetheart to me is just sickening. That's like putting lipstick on a pig. I haven't done my stuff. Like, everything I say is simply my opinion for the sake of hoping to start a conversation, open up a discussion, learn something, be educational. All my videos are made for YouTube. It's an infotainment platform. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And here's the cool thumb. How could I forget? See, it's made to be like a hook on the wall. So like you put it on the wall and then you like hang your jacket on it or something. But I just like it for that. Like, when I first saw it in the store, I was like, oh my God, that's so creepy. What would you do with that? And then I thought, wait, it's kind of cool. for that, right? All roads lead to little E, don't they? They really do. I do the same thing. I get stuck in a rabbit hole, etc. I would fall apart too. I know. I'm just like I said. I'm not going to try to be perfect. Like I'm completely reliant on caffeine. I can't live without it, and I'm fine with that. Um, Little E makes me sick. Isn't he gross? You know what I hate about him, and I hate about all these MFs, all of them, every single one of them, is just how smug they are. They've always got that cocky MF look on their faces that you just want to punch them. Like they just think because they're hurting people, it's like they want to destroy people because it makes them feel better about themselves. It's like your typical bully crap or your insecurities, like people who try to come off as so full of themselves are usually the people that feel the worst about themselves. Like they can't be destroyed. Right. Yeah, they get the smug looks on their faces. Like I just keep thinking of one of the photographs of Jeffrey where he's like, and he's making a really big chin. And like I said, you just want to sock him right in the mug. But I think a lot of the douchebags in this administration are like that. I mean, Alex Acosta has that smug look on his face. Um, the attorney for freaking Sean Combs has that look on his face 24/7. That is his face. Hegseth. I mean, these guys are just scum of the earth. Even uh, well, Nutlick for sure, but even Besant, like Scott Besant, the guy who's gay, the billionaire who is the Secretary of the Treasury, he's always got that smug look on his face. But a lot of these billionaires have that smug look on their face, and it's not just because they think they're superior because they have more money. They think they're superior because they literally get away with red rum and grape and statutory. And they do all the things that people without money couldn't get away with, in my opinion. Okay. um, yeah, I know the exact photo. Yeah, I know we've been seeing it a lot lately, huh? So just today, uh, El Presidente really turned on his MAGA base that has continued to pressure him to release the e-files. And he has insulted them and basically said that, this is all a hoax from the Democrats. And if they're too stupid to see that and they're too weak, he doesn't need them anyway. But what I want to say is that when I hear the word hoax come out of that man's mouth, to me, that's one of the tells that he is bald-faced lying. To me, in my opinion. I want to say too about a lot of this crazy stuff, like how I was saying about Kirby Summers just a minute ago. It's tempting to just like put up a wall and say, no, she just must be insane because she's just talking crazy talk. It's too much. A lot of the stuff that is so hard to believe, you got to keep in mind that it's hard for us to believe it. It's just as hard, if not harder, for the people that were there, that were victimized, to believe it. That's one of the things that keeps them in that frozen shock phase that they can't get away from the situation. That's one of the things, is that they can't believe what's happening. They can't believe what happened. They are so much in denial because it's so surreal. That's not every time with every victim, but that is a huge element of it. I just thought of that today, and I thought, that's a message that I don't hear circulated anywhere. And as a victim, and I hate to call myself that, and I think most of us hate to call ourselves that, which is again a form of denial, like, oh no, I wasn't victimized, you know. I mean, I had so much denial about being victimized, even when I realized that what my father, when he tried to take mine and my sister's lives, and I thought it was an accident, and he said it was an accident, and I believed him that it was an accident. Even when I came to terms with that it wasn't an accident, I still had trouble calling myself a victim. I really did. And I've shared it in a couple of videos where it was like, I would laugh. Like, that was one of my defense mechanisms. I would say things like, other than my father trying to kill me that one time, I wasn't abused as a child. Yeah, that's funny. Not funny. Not funny. But again, you know, it's like laugh or cry. So, for anybody who's been through something traumatic, which I think is almost everybody, but are you in denial about it or not? Do you know that you've been through something traumatic, or do you, you know, I mean, sometimes you just have to block it out. Like, you can't make sense of it. So that's another reason why people deny things to themselves, even because it makes no sense. And so they block it out. It just didn't happen. It just never happened. And then, you know, your psyche wants to incorporate all of your life experience into who you are. And that's why sometimes all of a sudden you remember something that you never remembered before. So that's how that stuff works. But just that quote that I wrote down of my own thought process, it's hard to believe even when you were there, even when you were witness to it, even when it was you were the victim, it's hard to believe. Sometimes still impossible to believe. You know, if you remember that movie, Prince of Tides, with Nick Nolte and Barbara Streisand, and that's really what that's about. You know, he was violated as a young boy by a prisoner that escaped with some other prisoners, and they broke into the house that he was in with his mother and sister, or sisters, I forget, and they were all violated, and he always thought that he wasn't. And then Barbara Streisand is his therapist, and she helps him realize that he actually was. He just never could wrap his mind around it. But that movie is really twisted because the freaking therapist sleeps with the client, and that's never right, especially in a situation like that. And they act like it's extra okay because she's healing him magically with her hoochie. I mean, it's pretty nauseating. Probably the book is a lot better. I don't think I read that book, but anyway, um, yeah. I mean, that's what that whole movie is about. If you remember, if you ever saw it, The Prince of Tides, and it was so earth shattering at the time because when that movie came out, like, nobody ever talked about boys being victimized the way girls can be victimized. It was always just girls, like girls only. Like, no, that never happens to boys. And come to find out that it happens as often to boys as it does to girls. And for a long time, it was thought that it happened to boys a lot less than it happened to girls. I think that a lot of boys is just underreported because they can't wrap their minds around it. Like, they block it out and it didn't happen, right? Um, Stephen Miller, Littlefinger, is so evil. Isn't he gross? He's the worst. Someone or something doesn't want me to watch you tonight. You've gone black 7 times so far. Well, Vieja, I take it as a compliment. Like them taking my little 55-second video down. Take that as a huge compliment. So you should take it as a compliment too. That when you watch my videos, you're too empowered. You're too much of a threat, right, to the evil in the world. That's so weird, Christine. Nothing hoaxy about trafficking people's children. Right, right. It took me a second to understand what you were saying. I know it's insane, and when they talk about, when when dear leader tries to say that the e-files are all lies, I mean, there's literally thousands of victims that are hearing their president say that, and some of them might just think that might be the last straw, like, oh my god, I thought we were getting somewhere, and then maybe they can't take it anymore. I mean, that's really painful when your abuser is in a position of power and then they try to tell you that it never happened, and they try to tell everyone that it never happened. And that's pretty typical too. Like, that's not a unique thing. I'd say it is a unique thing that they're a world leader and have the world as their platform to broadcast that. I can't imagine how horrifying that is for the victims and for the victims' families. Yes, it's hard to face the truth when something happens to you. I have that issue too. And it's not just that it's hard, like it can be impossible. Like you just can't, like there's nowhere to put it in your psyche, in your mind. It's like, where do you file that? There's no file for batshit crazy, is there? I mean, the mind is pretty miraculous the way it functions. If something is just too crazy that you can't make sense of it, then you just keep moving forward, right? You just don't worry about it. I can't watch old movies because they are extremely cringe. I know. I know. I would bet trying to watch that Prince of Tides would be way cringe. I mean, it was cringe at the time, even if you were all in. It's like everybody loved Streisand, everybody loved Nolte. It was a riveting story, even if you didn't know that psychotherapists shouldn't exploit their clients. I mean, it was cringe AF, everything about it. I'm such an empath since I've had my 3 surgeries. All kinds of things make me cry now. It's like I can feel the hurt in my heart. It goes deep. Yeah, I know. I have felt the intensity of my em- empathy with like the drowning victims in Texas, and especially because my daughter is there right now. She had like her first business trip ever, where she flew into Austin like this last weekend, and she's there until tomorrow. And there were flood alerts for Austin when she was there, even before she got there. But I think that Austin is like 90 minutes east of Kerrville and the Camp Mystic. My heart just breaks again and again for the Camp Mystic victims. And then learning that the name of the cabin that was way too close to the water is called Bubble Inn or Bubbles Inn, and that was a cabin that had 27, all 27 people that were in that cabin didn't survive, and that um, I'm gonna guess that it was probably 2 or 3 or 4 camp counselors, and then the rest were all the 8 and 9 year olds. They're really keeping a tight lid on the ages of the victims. But out of the roughly 40 victims from the camp that passed away that were kids, I think the majority of them, like if not almost all of them, were the 8 and 9 year olds, which would especially make sense if they didn't know how to swim or they weren't strong swimmers. But in a flood like that, it probably wouldn't even matter how strong of a swimmer you were unless you had a life jacket on. But it's just horrifying, finding out that the counselor that they finally located, her remains, finding out that she had just graduated high school. Because I predicted that. I thought the counselor, it's probably her first year as a camp counselor. And I don't know the whole breakdown. I'm sure eventually that'll come out over time. But I still wanted to see about that interview and play that again because it is so insane, and because they clipped my or they took my 1 minute video down, it makes me think it's all that much more important. Um, the video of Trumpster Fire getting interviewed by Will Kane on last Friday. But let me look at my notes and try to keep up with you as I am, and then try to get to that too, and not forget to do any of those things. So, man, there was an interview with one of the victims of, I think she was a victim of little E and little T, but she was on the Today Show with Savannah Guthrie years ago talking about all this stuff. And I recognized her. I think it was Katie Fang on Mary Trump's podcast that I saw this on right before I came on live. I'll have to look into that some more. But it made me think about how all of this crap, especially with the high profile politicians, but everything that they did to these victims is just terrorizing. It's terrorizing the kids to abuse them. It's terrorizing the kids to speak out publicly and say, they're liars. It never happened. It's like they're freaking terrorists. They are terrorists. That's what I want to say. I need to drink a little water while I'm reading. I shared your short. I wonder if it got took down. Yeah, it did get taken down, Anna Bees. Check it out. You can't see it. Maybe I can remake it. I don't know. I try to do it a little differently so that it isn't taken down. I mean, excuse me while I rub my nose. Thank you, Jazz. You do empower me in feelings and thoughts. Plus your full news sometimes I haven't heard yet. You are welcome, and thanks you guys too. That was awesome about the thing about the James Comey's daughter with BoobTube running back in with that nugget. I mean, you just can't keep up with this crap, can you? It's too much. But I want to keep up with it because I just feel like I need to. It's just like an instinct, I guess. Christine, that is a gift to be an empath. It absolutely is. We just got to take care of ourselves too, right? Anna, sometimes it upset people around me. Anna B says you can't do anything about how people feel. That's their problem. Yeah. Oh, yeah. But, real manipulative people will try to manipulate how you feel and how you think and how you speak. I think it was even today that El Presidente said, you can't say that or don't say that. I've heard him say that at other times too, where he's trying to control what people say. Like, what country are you from again? I heard water surged at 35 miles an hour. Well, they reported like 24 feet and then 27 feet and then 29 and then 30. And now there's reports that original Kerr River flood was as high as 50 feet. I don't think at where the Camp Mystic location was or is, but at some point in the river, it was 50 feet. I mean, just absolute devastation. And nobody's trying to like lay blame. People are trying to figure out like how did this happen and how can we prevent this from happening? And if there were failures, we need to know what those failures are. And if it was specific individuals that screwed up, then maybe they should be fired at the very least, right? Maybe something. People need to be held accountable. And when El Presidente comes in and says, everybody did such a good job, everything's fine, we're all going to be fine. I mean, that's what that whole 12-minute interview was for him to say those things. That's utter crap. No, everything's not fine. It's not going to be fine. It's never going to be fine that these people lost their lives. And I'm sure there were a lot of people who did a fantastic job. Some of them passed away while they were doing a fantastic job. There was I think a police chief, maybe even a fire chief. And I'm pretty sure there were two rescue professionals that passed away when they were trying to rescue people. I mean, again, it's like even if you're underskilled and understaffed, as long as you were doing your best, that's all that anybody can expect from you. And there's nothing wrong with failures, in my opinion. As long as you were trying your best, then it's not your fault. You did what you could do. But the whole situation needs to be examined to avoid a reoccurrence, because history does repeat itself. That's a freaking fact. There's so much debris in a flash flood, so it's very probable that they got hit with something too. Right. People get hit and cut, and yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, there's metal, there's glass, there's wood, there's animals and other people. I mean, it's insanity. It's total insanity. Um, so much information. I heard somebody on one of the videos that I was watching today talk about Trump translators, and I thought that was hilarious. They were like referring to, like, I think his cabinet, the people who try to clean up his messes and say, well, what he meant to say was this. But I just thought it was hilarious. A Trump translator. Um, oh, and Jules of all trades got in a flood of public records requests that she made, and she posted she's going to do a live tonight, and one of them that I was the most interested in and a lot of people that were commenting were the most interested in was something titled Coburger ride-alongs. You know, the Idaho 4 case. Coburger ride-alongs. Don't know what's in that file. Don't know if there's anything in that file, but she received in her public records request something from, I think it was from Pullman PD, that was titled Coburger Ride-Alongs. For anybody who doesn't know, that would mean potentially that, you know, a ride-along is when somebody who is interested in law enforcement just takes a ride with law enforcement when they go out on calls. Ride along. So if you're interested in working for that department, or if you're an explorer, you know, a young person that wants to be in law enforcement when you get older, they do ride-alongs. They do them all the time. And the file was called Coburger Ride-alongs. Again, could be empty. Maybe there's nothing in it, but interesting. I just wanted to highlight that for Jules. What else? I won't try to say everything that I have written down because it's too much. But you know, the betrayal that the MAGA base is feeling from the president is, I think, profound. And for anybody who has not experienced what betrayal feels like, it's one of the worst feelings in the world, in my opinion. So it's one of the reasons why I think that he's not going to recover from this. He's not going to continue to be made of Teflon the way he always recovers from everything impossible. The people that support him the most are devastated. And they feel like they've been made fools of. They feel like they've been played. They've been lied to. They trusted him, and their trust has been violated. And he's told them that they're stupid and to screw themselves if they're not going to keep believing his lies, basically, that make no sense. So, Let's see. And professionals in the weather service that jobs got cut. Exactly. Exactly. And the professionals in the weather service who were there doing their jobs, on a shoestring budget or a skeleton crew. The reports are that they were fully staffed that night, but who knows if they're telling the truth or, I think more will come out as time passes. I guess I'll be watching Jules later. I know, me too. What time is it? It's 8:16. So let me see. Maybe I'll just go straight to. I want to see if that video by the Fox News is still up. So I'm going to look on one of my videos. I have the link to it. So go to my channel and my videos and see. Am I even on? I don't think I'm on anymore, Anna. It looks like my live is not on, but you're still here. They're messing with my channel. It looks like my live is not live at the moment. I'm not gonna get sidetracked by that. I'm gonna see if I did put the link to it in the video that I did yesterday. I meant to put the link to it in there. Yeah. So let's see if it plays. So this is the 12-minute video of Will Kane interviewing Donnie. Yeah, it's still here.
President, for being here. As Texans, as Americans, the presidency can seem far away, focused on international affairs. It's never been something far from you to be in touch with ordinary Americans. I think it means a lot, so thank you.
Well, the people in this room and the people in this community have been unbelievable what they've gone through.
I'm going to have to break it up extra because of not wanting to get this video. I don't want this whole live to go away, and it probably will if I play this whole video. So I'll try to break it into parts and not play the whole thing.
Nobody's ever seen anything like it, frankly. When you have a wave that's almost 40 feet high just come rushing through this.
I hate it when he says no one's ever seen anything like it, because he says that all the effing time.
You would think it was a dam that burst. Maybe you could understand that, but you can't understand this. And I just want to thank everybody here in the room and in the community itself. It's been incredible the way they pulled together.
What you're looking at right here, Mr. President, is the brain center of search and rescue to notify, coordinate the...
I believe that this interaction that they're having is a script. I don't believe that this is an organic, authentic conversation.
Process of notifying the next of kin to understand the problems. You've got City of Kirkville, you've got Kirk County, you've got Texas EMS. What would you say? A lot of volunteers. What would you say to everyone?
Well, they're talented and they've got a big heart. And I just spoke to some of the...
They're talented and they've got a big heart. He doesn't even make sense. His eyes are barely open. Can you see this? Do you see his face? Do you see his eyes? And we know he fell asleep at a energy conference today in the Middle East. I mean, this is what he looked like most of the entire conversation. His eyes are just open like a millimeter. It's weird.
People, family members who lost a child, for the most part, lost a child. They've lost everything.
For the most part, lost a child. Now, how does that make sense? Still here, Vieja says, and that's true about the flood, though. It was a 100-year flood. Well, now he's calling it a 500-year flood, 1,000-year flood. So I know it was called a 100-year flood. And yeah, those things do happen.
They've lost everything in many ways. But I just think it's amazing what you're doing. And real talent in this room. I know a couple of you. I've seen you working. I've seen you at work. And you have real talent. And it's it's a shame because there's sometimes nothing much you can do when you see devastation like that. But amazing job that they've done.
You know, not every president has visited disaster zones and been here in touch with.
Really? I thought that every president does visit disaster zones. This guy is such a bootlicker. And I've got a grape lifesaver in my mouth. My throat was starting to hurt a little bit. I'm so sorry to be eating and drooling. I was so embarrassed for watching my video of me eating my soup in front of you guys a couple days ago. But, you know, it is what it is. No, I heard Little T say he thought that a dam broke, not what we just heard. Okay. He didn't even understand that it was a flash flood. Okay.
Ordinary Americans, why is it important to you to show up in Texas?
Well, I showed up in Ohio, and it was a great thing to do, and I made permanent friends in Ohio.
I made permanent friends in Ohio. Yeah, Donnie, I'm sure you did. But you still can't remember the name of the town that they're from, and I'm sure you don't remember any of their names either. That's all right. What's a name? A rose by any other name still smells the same.
In that little community that had, remember the train going through, and it was a mess. It was a mess. And
it was a mess. It was a mess. I hate the way he talks. He's just so cringe. And yeah, the way he talks about like the little train going through, like he's playing with a train or something.
Other people didn't show up for like a year and a half. And frankly, I made real friends there.
Other people didn't show up for a year and a half. Like, WTF are you talking about, crazy man?
Yeah.
That's insane.
We did a good job. We helped them out, and we're going to help this community too. They love each other. I just left this group of people. They just love each other. They love the community, and they're going to rebuild. They want to rebuild. I didn't hear one person. We spoke to a lot of people. Didn't hear one person that wants to leave, and some lost.
Oh, he's so frustrating. I'm going to go ahead and speed this up because I don't want them to be like, oh, you can't play the whole thing. I'm going to speed it up to that part that I made my little 1-minute video that then got taken down. Are you ready? I think it's rated about the 6-minute mark.
And a lot of things have happened since then, including the presidency. So, you know, I have an obligation to do a good job, I feel, because I was really saved. I was really saved by somebody very special. People that are shooters, I'm not so much of a shooter, but people that were shooters say it's almost.
The man barely slows down to take a breath. Again, to me, this is one of the tells that he's lying, because I don't believe that that was a true assassination attempt. And he just kind of glosses over it and just is trying to get past it and kind of trying to change the subject.
It's impossible that was a miss. I mean, it was a hit, but it was a miss. Although I do get that throbbing.
It was a miss hit. It was a hit miss.
Feeling every once in a while.
Is that right?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. He does the old man way too often.
No, I owe a lot, and I hope the reason I was saved was to save our country. You know, we had a country that was, I don't say dead because it's too strong, but we had a country that was.
I don't say dead because it's too strong. Oh, and because there's a lot of people that just passed away at this community that are all watching you on the evening news, you know, hanging on every word that you say. Then you say, I'm not going to say dead because it's too strong of a word. And then wait.
It's really very close to being finished, in my opinion. And now we have the hottest country in the world. That's why I'm so saddened by this. But, you know, it's one of those things, those tragic things that happen. But we had a country that was dead. It was dead. It was really in deep trouble. I was with world leaders, and they said, you know, a year ago your country was dead, and now you have the hottest country in the world. And it sounds rough initially, but, you know, the second part of that statement is true. We have the hottest stock market. We have financial.
It sounds rough initially. Ugh, he's so gross. I'm just going to set this down because it's just infuriating me. So, I did just a half hour video yesterday where I have that whole 12-minute interview, and I did like how I did just now. Like, I kept stopping it and making comments, mostly just so that it wouldn't get taken down. But with that little clip that I made the 55-second short out of that got removed after 100 or so people got to see it, they can't do that on like copyright on the freedom of information. No, fair use. They can't do that with fair use because they just can't. But why would they even want to? That's what I find intriguing, and that's why I wanted to come on and do a live, is because it just inspired me that so the work that I'm doing is important. I feel like it's important. I know some of you feel like it's important, but if the haters think it's important, that's when you know that it actually is important. If you even have a hater, like, that is not fun, but it is a compliment in a twisted, underhand, backhanded way. So to me, the fact that they took my video down is a huge compliment. It's like, oh, why does it even matter if my little 55-second video is up? It only has 100 views. I only have like 3,800 subscribers. So why do you care if I have this stupid little video up? What difference does it? Why does it matter to you anyway? I was going to say, what difference does it make? So I should wrap up because we're getting close to 2 hours and my nose is itching like crazy. And I don't want to rub it in front of you guys, but I'm going to have to. It's like itching like crazy. And my 2 doggies are over there cuddled, not the crazy one. Otherwise, I'd be like having to tell her to quit eating the house and the rug. Like, she literally eats the rugs. And she just eats everything. And we have so many chew toys for her. But then she wants to chew on a Lego when she finds it. That's scary. She'll steal stuff. Like I have my little Gabby Petito pumpkin. She stole this the other day. I'm like, where the F did it go? I'm looking all over the room. Can't find it. It's like down the hallway. She did that with the little dog. She stole it. I'm like, where'd the dog go? But the other day I was sewing. So I had one of those little red sewing tomatoes with the pins and needles in it, and all of a sudden my pin cushion is gone. And luckily I noticed right away and went and found her. She was literally pulling pins out of it with her little mouth. She's holding the pin cushion, pulling the pins out. There was already one on the ground and she was pulling out another one, and I was just like, thank God I found her before she tried to like eat or swallow a freaking pin. It's scary, isn't it? Come here, Coco. Come here, baby. You're a love bug. Yes, you're a good girl. All right. So I think we'll go ahead and wrap up since we're hitting 2 hours. I love you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me on this live. We'll get through this. We will get through this. How is this Trumpster fire going to resolve? Oh, man. It's going to be a wild tsunami. And I guess there's like some kind of tsunami watch in Alaska right now. Did you guys hear about that? I am still here. Let's see. So many people are unalived under his watch. Biden had the hottest stock market. That's funny. Yeah. I mean, we lost like 1 million in the COVID. And that's not to say that it was anybody's fault, but encouraging people not to get vaccinated, not to wear masks, pray it away. What the F was that all about? So yeah, we are still here, Jade Hunter, but we'll be wrapping now. His first with COVID and this time with all the natural disasters. Yeah, I mean, the fire in Lahaina, immediately the Trump administration started trying to bring up what a failure the fire in Lahaina was on Biden's watch. It's like, yeah, I thought that Biden took his sweet time getting there, and that his response was very lacking, and I would highly criticize his response to that. That was roughly, allegedly, 101 lives lost. I don't believe that. I think it was a lot more. But that also was a year ago, or was that 2 years ago? Whatever it was, we're dealing with this right now. So let's not scapegoat back in time. When was the Lahaina fire? Now I'm curious. No, it must have been 2 years ago. Yeah, it was. It was 2 years ago this August. I don't even need to look it up. I'm pretty sure. If I'm wrong, so what? But no, it's 2 years ago this August, and they're bringing it up now. Like, that's just so weak. And yeah, I mean, crap happens, like 9/11. That happened on Bush's watch. So if you want to win the election, you have to buckle up, Buttercup. It's going to be a wild ride. And yeah, you're going to be responsible for everything. He's all complaining like, oh, they say everything is Trump's fault, even if it's on the other side of the country. I think he meant to say world when he said that. I think that's at the end of that interview with Will Cain. They're always saying everything's Trump's fault, even when it's on the other side of the country. It's like, well, that's the country that you're the leader of, douchebag. So if you don't want to be the one to answer to these crises, then maybe you should vacate the office. But I just am so certain, in my opinion, that this election was hacked and that it was an illegitimate win, that there was cheating, that he didn't win. I mean, heck, go back to 9/11 with Bush. There was a lot of debate about that election with the dangling Chads in Florida and his brother being the governor of Florida and him and Al Gore being neck and neck. So he won the election, and then he had to deal with that. He had to deal with 9/11. It's like, see, that's what happens when you win an election. If you didn't win the election, you wouldn't have had to deal with that on your watch. It could have been Al Gore's problem. Because I think that election, there was cheating crap too. It was very underhanded. And, I never really gave that too much credence until this election cycle, 2024, and then learning all the things that I've learned about the history of election hacking that started right here in my lovely home state of Ohio in the year 2000 with that guy Collins who died in that airplane crash in 2008. IT guru, election expert Collins died in airplane crash December 2008. Republican IT guru dies in plane crash December 23rd, 2008. Michael Connell. I was just trying to find his name. Michael Connell. It's very important. So this man, and I just happen to know a lawyer that had deposed him a few days before his passing away. Michael Connell was being deposed for hacking with the elections, and the Republican Party was allegedly trying to make him take all the heat, and he wasn't willing to do that. And so he mysteriously died in a plane crash, Michael Connell. So that's where it all started as far as hacking the elections, and that's with the electronic devices specifically. The paper devices are supposedly safe, and even when you add up the elections, I mean, that's what they're getting into now with all these lawsuits with Smart Elections and the um, Election Truth Alliance. It's the tallying of the votes is really where you get into the election hacking. So remember, that's what Trumpster Fire said about his dear friend Elon before they had their falling out, was that he was really good with those computers that count the votes. And how many times did he say, it really doesn't matter if you vote for me or not, all that matters is who's counting the votes. Some crazy stuff. Liars gonna tell on themselves. And exactly, Annabise, thank you. Okay, I was gonna try to wrap up, but now I can't. The first COVID, natural disasters, and then the planes and helicopters falling out of the sky. Right. So the minute that first big commercial airplane went down over the Potomac River, I think that was January of this year. I won't bother looking for the date because that's neither here nor there. Well, I guess it does matter because I think it was after he was already inaugurated, but let's see. Plane crash over Potomac River, January 2025. I'm just looking for the date that it happened. Is it not even going to say the date? That's weird. So it was in the news January 30th, but I think it happened, last night. So it happened January 29th. So that was 8 days after the inauguration, or 9 days after the inauguration. But immediately he started blaming the DEI, the diversity, equality, inclusion. I mean, that was so harsh. And yeah, there was a woman that was flying the helicopter. One of the pilots was a woman. Is it called DEI? I don't even know. Let me see. My brain is falling apart. That's what happens at the second hour. That's why I have to wrap up. DEI. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. Yeah. So we had other terms for it back in my day. We would say token, like you had your token female or your token not white person. It was affirmative action. That's what it was called when I was in college. But he immediately starts blaming the DEI. And why are you trying to blame something like that? That was so crazy. But it's that kind of coming out swinging that then makes me wonder, makes me suspicious. Like, why would you be attacking people like that? That's nuts. And it wouldn't matter if the pilot was a woman or not. If it was pilot error, it was pilot error. I guess if it's a woman and it was pilot error, then you could just say, oh, crazy female driver, right? So yeah, but I do want to wrap up. But thank you for bringing that up. So many helicopters and airplanes that keep falling out of the sky, and they keep having all these key people on them. And I was starting to think I was like some kind of crazy conspiracy theorist. But apparently, when someone wants someone to not be alive anymore, they don't care how many people are collateral damage. They'll do whatever it takes to get rid of that person as quickly as they can. if they feel like they need to, especially when you're talking about governments and stuff like that. So I'll also send the pictures of the Arizona sky because it is so beautiful here. Oh, yes, please do. Awesome. Love to you by Jazz and everyone. Love to all. Have a better day tomorrow. No, I didn't hear about Alaska. Yeah, hopefully they're okay. Tsunamis are nothing to mess around with. I know there were like, I think tremors or something like that around Mount Rainier, Mount St. Helens, and Mount Hood, I think this past week. So I don't know if it's that or what's going on. But yeah, tsunamis are serious. Talk about having a wall of water coming at you. Black women, yes, because black and brown and women people are not competent. It's so crazy. Costco, you know how I love to shop there, and they were big supporters of his administration until that DEI thing, not only because they're good people, but mostly because all they care about is the bottom line, and it's bad for business. Like, you're going to get better business and better performance when you don't discriminate, period. It's better for your business to not just focus on white dudes, right? I mean, that's obvious. Anyway, on that racist, sexist, homophobic crap, like, it just takes such self-loathing to even go there. Like who cares? Like, just live and let live. Just do your thing and let other people do their thing, right? I'm going to sign off. Love and light. Have a fabulous evening. Hopefully see you tomorrow. Thank you for being here. Thank you for helping me through this difficult time as they delete my 55-second video. I worked so hard on that. I really did. And then yesterday with all that crap, I mean, hopefully they don't delete my channel, because then I wouldn't know what to do. I'd figure it out though. All right. Love to you. Have a great one and see you soon. Love and light.